Ralf, well done. A winning start. What did you make of it?
I'm very happy with the way that the team performed, the way they played. Especially the first half hour was exceptional, I thought. Extreme high intensity and tempo. The only thing that was missing in that period of the game was the 1 or 2-0. But the way the team defended as a team, the whole game, we had control on the game. So I'm very happy with the game, the performance, but also with the result. Clean sheet, that's the most important part.
How big is that? It's just United's third clean sheet all season.
I mean, I said from the very beginning when I had my first press conference, this is the things that we have to improve on. We need to produce clean sheets. We need to have and get control on the game. And with only one training session, or it was not even a full training session, what they did, what they showed today was more than I expected, to be honest.
And is that something for you to build on even after just one game defensively today?
Yes, of course. I mean, if you have a clean sheet, you minimum have 1 point. And I always said with this group of players, we're always able to concede 1 or 2 goals. And that was the case today. Was
patience important in terms of finding that goal in the end?
Yes, but we always tried to be on the front foot. That's what I like today. We were never, maybe, the last 5 minutes when we had 1 or 2 corners to defend. But apart from that, we were always trying to keep them away from goal, to be on the counter-attack. So that was the good thing. That was especially the ones that I liked.
And little tweak, Marcus Rashford a little more centrally. He got in behind quite often today. Was that a ploy? Is that something you want to see from Marcus? A bit more support for Cristiano?
Yeah, we wanted to play with 2 strikers and with 2 10s in a semi-position. That was the idea, to get more control in the center of midfield and to put pressure on their defense most of the time, but also make sure that Cristiano was not the only striker. By the way, what Cristiano worked today against the ball, chapeau.
That's shut a few headlines up, hasn't it?
Thank you.
What about Fred? Doesn't always get the headlines here, but all round today and the finish, the winning goal.
Yeah, and with his right foot. I couldn't believe I had to ask one of my assistant coaches if it was Fred with the right foot. Normally he can only shoot with his left foot. Yeah, he's a fantastic player, again, against the ball, what he did together with McTominay on 6. This is what you need for this kind of football, and I'm very happy for him, and the whole team congratulated to him for this goal.
And you haven't got much time because you've got games coming thick and fast, but what will you be working on to build on this now in the next few games?
It's always easier to build on things when they're being successful, and I want the players to believe in this kind of football, and I think they also said clean sheet, that's what it's about. So we have to going directly into that direction, what we did today, produce further clean sheets and still get better in creating chances ourselves. So there is still space for improvement for us, but it was more important for me to see the way that they played against the ball today.
Very well done, Ralf.
Thank you. See you next time.
What do you make of that performance and the result today?
The performance wasn't our best. I think we defended well as a team, and in possession we wasn't brave enough to play around. I strongly believe that there was a space for us to play better, and I thought that the game will finish with a draw. I think both teams didn't create much chances, and when we had that opportunity to score with Jordan, we didn't take it. And in the other side, you get punished straight away. That is the higher level, and we have to learn and to learn fast.
When he was overseeing the Red Bull clubs, he wanted his coaches there to use this 4-2-2-2 formation. And he implemented that today at United because he wanted them to have more control.
And he had exactly that. The control was all in the centre of the pitch, straight from the off, really. If you just look at the positions here, we talk about the 4-2-2. We'll just stop the clip here. 4-2-2-2, exactly what he was talking about. But what he's trying to do with that is win them second balls. You see Ronaldo going, then Fred coming out, Fernandes making Palace make their own header, goes out for a throw-in. What I really did like is how high they were, though. If you look at this position here, this is the highest I've probably ever seen Man United, but they were in control. They was taking risks. Lindelof, I thought, today was outstanding, the way he wanted to come out, always on the front foot. playing a two up front allows Ronaldo to come a little bit deeper and Rashford to make them runs in behind, which he's done a lot of his career, trying to work together. But it was just a constant. Lindelof, brilliant again. Taking the risk, taking responsibility, playing on the front foot, doing all the stuff, the dirty work that a defender's supposed to do. Then, Leon, you was happy with the full-backs?
Yeah, I was, because if you're going to play as narrow as Manchester United did today and may do in the future, you're relying heavily on the players in those wide areas to offer you width at time, but to make sure they possess really good quality, to make sure that when you're in the wide areas, you deliver. You see Sancho coming in narrow. He doesn't have many options. Telles, Rashford makes a great forward run, but he has the quality to play that ball in there, and they managed to get players into the box and get a chance. And then the ball switched out to right. Dalot certainly didn't let anybody down today either. Showed real quality, wriggling a way through, finding a way, getting in a penalty, and actually should have scored and have been, or had been, Manchester United's first choice fullbacks. But Dalot and Telles put a real statement performance in today.
And presumably because they flooded that central area, that's why they were able to win that much possession in the final third, which is way clear of anything else they've done this season, because they had the bodies there and they could work as a unit. Exactly,
like Ralf mentioned in his interview, tempo and intensity. And when you've got people in that central area, it allows you to draw them in. And they actually moved as a unit. When they went to the left, they all came, and when they went to the right, it was actually good to see. It wasn't a vintage Man United performance in terms of, I think the expected goal was only 0.9, but in terms of controlling the game, Palace didn't really threaten too much.
And the standout performer from the game today, when you look at his stats as well, not only did he get the winning goal, but in terms of tackles and passes, and then the passes in the opposition half as well, Leon, he's either first or second, and that was Fred.
Yeah, well, there are times where he gets a lot of criticism for performances in possession, Fred. But credit where credit's due today. He was offered himself all over the field. He made sure he got on the ball. But he didn't do anything you wouldn't expect. But if United are going to play narrow and play with no width, then when he wins the ball back, he's always in a position to go on and be good in possession, and was able to join in. Unlucky with that shot there. But this was it. He won the ball back, and people like Bruno Fernandes now are no longer 30 yards away from him, where he's given the ball away trying to find a pass. He can just play a nice, simple pass, win the ball back as he's expected to, do the job he's in the team to do, and just pass it to one of the closest players. And when you're in proximity to those good players, you'll deliver. And then he started to grow in confidence, threading passes like that one to Cristiano Ronaldo, and topped it off with a wonderful finish with his right foot. I'm not sure you've scored many of them, Micah, in your day.
No, I've definitely not. But it was brilliant. And you know what? I am happy for Fred, because when Man United lose, he gets all the stick. It's nice for him to be, get some, look, even someone wants his shirt there. It's a bit nice for a bit of positivity.
But I think that's the other interesting thing. The point you make is you talk about them being compact in the central area from how they can win the ball back, but you're saying that also benefits Fred from the options he has.
Absolutely, I'm saying Fred's strength is to win the ball back and give it to those players around him like Bruno Fernandes. If they're no longer 25 yards away, they're only 10 yards away, he's going to be able to look a lot better doing it, giving it, passing it, and doing the job he's good at.
Space for improvement, but overall a very happy Ralf Rangnick after his side got off to a winning start. 1-0 winners against Manchester United. What did you make of that interview, Karen? Did you feel like what he said was a real reflection of the match?
Yeah, I thought they defended well. I thought, they haven't had clean sheets in a very, very long time, and that mentality was really key. I thought the pressing up top was actually, it's a defensive structure to keep you further away from your own goal. Defended it, as I said in the show, half-court defence, and they looked more control, more structure. And for me, it's like night and day. From Watford to today, it was just a completely different team, and in such a short space of time to turn that around, I think that's been really key. Now it's just about being more clinical and taking the chances, and the possession that they had in the final third just needs to improve. But, really happy for Manchester United for that first game, and the clean sheet is the most important thing.
It was interesting there to hear him talking and heaping praise on Cristiano Ronaldo. He won't get the headlines after this match because he didn't score, as he has done on so many times this season. He's still Manchester United's top scorer. As Ralf Rangnick said, then. Do you think he showed, or he more than showed today, that he can fit into that system and do well?
I think Ralph's no fool. I think he realises that he wants this job. I said it at the top of the show. He's here for 6 months, interim manager. He wants it longer than that. He's going to recommend to the board after a good run of fixtures that he takes it for another year or two. And he's got to earn that right. But he's got the pedigree to be able to do it. He's never managed a club like Manchester United, but why not give him the opportunity? So he's never managed a player like Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, and not many have. You know, we're talking about one of the world's best players, one of the best players to ever play this game. He was talking about him there. He gave him a plug, didn't he? He was talking about without the ball, pressing against the ball. So he knows. He's no fool. He's a good talker to the media, but he knows who's listening. He knows it's about the fans and the players. They listen, and the board of directors. So he's almost talking indirectly to Cristiano Ronaldo and saying, I was pleased with what you did out of possession. We know what you can do in possession, but that goes for the whole side. I think we always know that Manchester United will create chances. They've got world-class players who can win a game on their own. I think they've done that certain amount of games over the last 3 or 4 years when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's been there. They've won. They've beat who they should beat. Now, the test will come when they play up against the rivals where they want to be, the Chelseas, the Man Cities, the Liverpools. Can they hold their own against them sort of sides and play against the ball better then? I thought their pressing was OK. It was a lot better out of position than what we've seen under Solskjaer, but I think it was still not spot on, and I don't expect it to be. It's a work in progress. He's got time now to work on a training field with the group, and they will get better. And like I say, they've got a dream run of fixtures coming up, and I think that by the end of these 10 games, we'll be, certainly the Man United fans will be lauding him up as the Messiah.
Yeah, this dream run does involve, when we look at it, none of the traditional top 4, top 6. Is this the perfect way for Ralf Rangnick to start his regime at Manchester United, given the fact that his players are getting used to his methods?
That's a big gift. I mean, that's a 10-game gift. Christmas goes all the way into mid-February, to be fair. They should win every one of those games. The only, you'd say, hard one is West Ham. Have been absolutely fantastic. But, you know, West Ham at home, you should win that anyway. So I think look, 3 things stuck out today. You know, they pressed the ball better, for sure. The centre-backs played a lot higher. They played almost on the middle of the pitch, so they condensed it. And I thought the players actually bought into what he wanted. And if you look at the way PSG play, with their front 3 who don't run around at all, you know, Cristiano bought in. So that's a good sign for Ralf. The problem is the players have bought in before under previous managers and then not, and played, like Karen said, against Watford, you know. So you got their ear today, but they got to consistently do it. They'll win those next 10. But when they play the bigger teams, can they do it? I thought the thing that stuck out today was the attacking fullbacks. I thought it made a big difference in the way United play. Be curious to see if he sticks with it. One
of maybe his biggest challenges as well is to get that attack clicking, because you've all alluded to world-class players. But we saw in the summer with the recruitment of Cristiano Ronaldo, they've got so many players that want to play in those attacking positions. Which players do you think will eventually stake a claim? Because we saw Marcus Rashford and Bruno come off today.
Yeah, I think they'll all rotate. I think with the pressing intent, it's such a point in the season. You saw them dip off after 60 minutes, so I think he will have to naturally keep rotating them because he doesn't want to accumulate injuries. And the way that they're going to be pressing, they're not used to that, and you can't increase that fitness during the season. So I think they'll just rotate. The thing going back to Ronaldo is if his pressing stats do go up, I hope his goals don't go down. And that's what I'll be really interested to see, that he can still press and still get the chances and still be delivering on that front. Because if it doesn't, then there's a problem, and I'm sure he'll be saying that.
I think Ralph's got to learn really quickly. This is not a development project to what he's had at other clubs when he's made small clubs better. This is Manchester United, and it's really, really important that you win. And to lose 2 or 3 games is an absolute disaster. Now, I think Greenwood will benefit from him. Obviously, Jadon Sancho is someone he knows from the Bundesliga. I think they've got a group, and he's going to learn in the recent weeks that they have got a fantastic squad of players here at Manchester United.
So the word control was used a lot there during Ralf Rangnick's first post-match interview as Manchester United boss. That was something you said you wanted to see. Do you agree with him there, Owen?
Yeah, well, because, I mean, we've covered United all season. They didn't have control of any of the games. And to be honest with you, they had a pretty easy run of fixtures at times. So, you know, to not have control against City and Liverpool, you can understand that. But when you play the lower teams, even, you know, Everton and Newcastle, you know, Watford, a lot of the games were completely out of control. And defensively, they were better. They had more control. There was patterns of play. So I think it's a good start for United.
A first win under the Ralf Rangnick regime at Manchester United. Look, a victory is always going to be a good start for a new manager at a club, Stillian. But did you see an improvement in the Man United performance?
Huge improvement. I think the manager have managed to stamp his authority straight away. He just talked about, if you only work with the players only for one day. But what you can see is a lot of managers pay attention to the defensive side of it. But he actually moved United team further forward. So he's actually defending from the front. He's making sure that all the pressure being on the defence, all the defence have to deal with everything. Now we've said, let's push further forward, let's take that pressure off you, and let's deal with the problems further up the pitch. And you can see today United is on better control. They played very intensive football, but that's the way he's been managed every single club he worked with.
He mentions the clean sheet in that post-match interview as well, whereas you can sense that was so important to him because it's just Man United's third all season and they're first at home in 16 matches in all competitions.
Yeah, fantastic. I think one of the things you highlighted was the defensive side of Man United. Not keeping clean sheets is one of the biggest points of playing games. So yeah, it's coming. Kept a clean sheet in his first game, great defensive performance, and I think he had the right balance of attackers attacking in numbers and the defence staying solid and being ready for any counter-attacks and being ready for any transitions in play. So it was a good balance and a great start.
Let's take another look at the Manchester United goal then. An unlikely goal scorer for this one, Stillian. Fred isn't the name that jumps out to you out of the Manchester United squad that you expect to be on the score sheet. But what about the finish? What did you make of it?
Great, but you can see the way the Man United started. Look at how many bodies they've got in the box, around the box. And Fred, he's been under pressure for that many weeks, but his finish is exclusive. He knew what we're doing from the start. You can see the ball is played back, and he just guided that ball. It's a great finish from Fred, who I said has been under incredible pressure in the last couple of weeks.
When a new manager comes in, Wes, is a player that's under pressure like Fred maybe got a point to prove?
Well, he's made the right impression, that's for certain. To get the winning goal in the first game is fantastic. And look at him there, he's delighted with that goal and he celebrated it in the right way.
You've talked a lot already, Stillian, about the intensity that you've noticed from this Manchester United team and that press, which is something I think all of us were expecting to see. Maybe not so quickly, though.
Not so quickly, but you can see straight away the way that they're high up the pitch. So the pressing is less distance. You can see now everybody's compact, everybody can notice the danger, so they can react quicker. They can be in the front foot all the time. And you can see here, they're already set up for the press. They already know what's coming. And even the question on Ronaldo, can he press? Can he play that intensive football? Of course he can, because this manager now knows the strength of the team. Because with Rashford, with Greenwood, you can see they're already on the front foot and they're further up the pitch.
Whereas there's a theory when people think about, when football fans think about pressing, that it only comes from the forward players, but really it comes right from the back, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all 11 players working in the right way, doing exactly what the manager said and pressing in the correct way. And you've seen examples of them pressing in a certain type of way to force the ball out wide, to set traps, to get the ball, regain possession, and then attack with numbers. And I think it was very successful today.
But you've played that position as a centre-half, and when you be under pressure about conceding goals, being further up the pitch, then you've got plenty of space to work on. You can see the game, you know what's coming, you can adjust your position. And that's what Ralf Rangnick done with Man United. He's given opportunity and confidence to defend and protect them by getting the team up further up the pitch.
When it comes to Crystal Palace today, did it help Manchester United ever so slightly that they weren't at their best? We've seen them play better than this season.
Yeah, Vieira mentioned, it wasn't their best performance today, and they've definitely played better in other games. But, you have to give credit to Man U for imposing themselves on the game, the way they went about attacking Crystal Palace, made them sit back as much as possible. And, for majority of the game, they was very, very stubborn. But, the unlikely hero in Fred came up with an answer to scoring the goal and getting a breakthrough. So, yeah, great start for Ralf, and we'll see how he carries on throughout the remaining games.
Yeah, it could have changed it, couldn't it? When you look at Manchester United's next fixtures that are coming up as well, Wes, look, these are fixtures that, when you look at them on paper, for a team like Manchester United, they're not facing any of the... Well, they've got West Ham in there that's coming up, that are currently in the top 4, but really, traditionally, they've got quite an easy run there.
Yeah, well, always, could talk about what's on paper and what's winnable games. If only football was as simple as that, but it's never the case. Man U's form hasn't been the greatest so far, so they'll probably look at these fixtures and think to themselves, we've got some real winnable games. Let's try and climb up the table. Let's try and install some confidence into the side, get the fans behind us again, and try and get as much points as possible. Like you said, West Ham is definitely one to note that as a difficult game there, but they're definitely winnable games. But football is not as simple as that.
As a new manager coming in, that's the sort of run you want to see, though, isn't it?
I think he has very, very difficult games coming ahead, especially with a team down there, Brighton, Newcastle. These are the teams that are looking for points now. They've got a few changes, so they're looking to gain results. And I don't think Man United is Man United they used to be, Now teams go there, play against Man United with different approach. They're actually looking forward to play Man United because they've been so inconsistent. So the new manager has to make sure one thing is consistency. And he talks about the consistency through his philosophy, every club he's been to. So that's going to be his main point about have the consistency, win as many games and give yourself opportunity to probably get that job. Because end of the day, in about a few months, he has to decide who's going to take over. He may just take over himself.
Well, he did mention that in his first press conference, didn't he? Everyone's been talking about Ronaldo and whether he fits into the way Ralf Rangnick likes to play. From what you saw today, what do you think?
Yeah, you want to get the best out of Ronaldo. Definite goal scorer, scored many, many goals for his time. He knows how to score, but how does he fit into this Man United side? That's Ralph's dilemma to try and solve. And today he looked good. Today he looked good. You see him pressing in a certain type of way. And I think it helps that he's got a lot of bodies around him, So when Man U are attacking, he's got the support. So he's not the only one doing the legwork up top. He's got support from the wide players, attacking midfielders, helping the workload. And I think that's the key to Ronaldo being successful and staying in the team and Man United being successful.
From what we've seen today then, Stilian, positive signs of what's to come?
Of course, and regarding Ronaldo, he's good manager will always find the best position and the best solution and balance for the good players. And he knows that the minuses, the pluses for Ronaldo. So he'll make sure he will use him in the best possible way. And he can guarantee one thing, goals. And this is what is going to win in games. And he didn't score today, but he played a big part. So he will definitely find the solution and the balance of the team to make sure he uses Ronaldo in the best possible way.